Hey everybody, Dr. Laura Dabney here. We're talking about parenting for these next few videos, in particular, how to be a better parent by avoiding toxic parent traits. So what are those traits and how do we avoid them? That's the real question, right? Okay, so we started with a throwback video a couple weeks ago that talks about not to demand things from your children. And then last week I talked about the toxic trait of overindulging. Now that's tricky because it's really not the overindulging that's the problem. I explained that further in my video last week if you want to check that out. And this week I want to talk to you about forcing your child to take care of you. This is one that is a little harder for people to understand. Unlike the overindulging, people don't understand how very, very toxic this is. Okay, so you are the parent. You take care of the child. It's a one-way street. It's probably the only truly altruistic relationship that there is. And it's that way because that's the most healthy environment for a child, is to have a parent who's fully in control and fully in charge of themselves, solid parenting, and takes care of the child who needs caring for, okay, has no other options. But you do. As an adult, you have many other options in place to get care, and to go turn to your child for care, or demand it, or put it on them in some way is really terrible. A lot of parents make the mistake of feeling that by forcing the child to listen to them vent about some other person, whether you're crying or really angry about somebody, you're making them listen to you about all this without you talking about any kind of resolution. But it's such a double whammy, or you're somehow giving the impression that you're ill or incapacitated and have no idea of what to do. And you need them to do X, Y, and Z, like take care of the siblings. That's a common one. I'm overwhelmed. I can't handle your sister. You haven't done anything all day. You take care of her. Okay. Some parents make the mistake of believing or having some resentment of having to be the parent. It's sometimes unconscious, and this is their way of payback. You've got to help me because I helped you. Well, that's not altruistic, and that's not being a parent. Or they think this is somehow going to build some kind of a bond together. Okay? They're taking something that builds a bond in an adult relationship and putting it on the child, which isn't the same thing. If you ask a friend for help, especially if then you also give help from time to time, then that's a healthy relationship, and that actually brings you closer. It doesn't with a child. It's not the same thing. And lastly, it can be a way that you feel that the child will love you more. This is like a replacement for love. He cares for me, really loves me, and it gives you an anxious parent some reassurance that the child cares for them. All right, all very, very toxic to your relationship with the child and thus to your child's development. So how do we avoid this? Well, for starters, obviously don't do those things, but this isn't the same as asking for help with things, okay? And by asking for help without dumping the problem on them, especially if you are doing something for the family or for that child. So if you're getting them to a sporting event or you're making dinner for the family, it's perfectly fine. It's actually great to ask them to help you out. I'm a little busy with dinner here. Can you please set the table? I'm going to be a little late picking you up, so we can get all your hockey equipment out to the garage so we can get going quickly. Not only does that keep you from being resentful that you're doing it all, it gives the child self-esteem. You're asking for their help. You're not demanding it. You're looking like you're in charge. They get a sense that you're solid and not putting impossible tasks on them, because it's really a double whammy. The other example, the toxic example, not only are you not there as a parent, they see you as ineffective or damaged, which is very scary to a child, okay, because they depend on you for their life, but they also can't help you. So that's overwhelming for them also, okay? And that's why it's such a horrible thing. But in this case, you're giving them something they can do, and they know how to do, and it's exactly instructions. And you're being more like a teammate this way. And it's very good for the child, okay? So that's good. Sometimes if you ask them to help out with the family, like the babysitting, this is so common. We're going out, so you're not going out with your friends. You need a babysit. Well, nothing could be worse, right? Not only are they going to resent you for taking them out of their social life, they're going to resent the kid, their sibling, right? Because they're going to feel guilty about being so angry at you. So they're going to transfer some of that to the poor sibling, and that's going to hurt their relationship, right? Plus, you're taking them out of the social scene. That's their job. Their job is to develop social skills. They have to be out socially. So you're also cutting out of their social time. So you resolve that by paying them. Make it a job. You give them some job skills this way, some responsibility. You're paying them, so you're treating it more like this. And you also don't let them, there's some kids who will volunteer to babysit all the time because they're afraid of they're afraid to do the social scene. So they hide out this way. So you have to be careful. Okay, once in a while you can babysit for a little extra money. That would help us out and that would be great. Thank you. Okay, that's way different than, I've got some problem and you have to help me because I can't think of any other solution. All right, we have a babysitter on. If something comes up, you want to go do something with your friends, we have a babysitter on call. All right, so that's much more of a, again, team approach and much more helpful for your child. If your child picks up on an obvious problem, what do you do then? Well, if you have like broken your leg or you're very, very ill or you're grieving the loss of a family member, it's perfectly okay to tell your child that you're in pain and you at a loss, or this is something very unexpected. It's okay to tell them about negative emotions. It's really good. As you know from my other videos, that's a very good thing to do. But tell them you have the solution. But I'm seeing a doctor who's really good. I'm seeing a therapist and we're working it out. I've talked to my friends about this and they're going to be helping me. So that takes the anxiety out of the child that you're damaged, ill, or going to die. It takes that anxiety out of them. Plus, you're not putting a problem on them that makes them anxious because they have no idea how to solve it. So you're instead reassuring them. So it is helping them while you are also admitting to having a problem. Okay, so those are all the differences between dumping a problem on a child who's it doesn't have the capacity to help you, and getting help from your child in a way that's healthy. Alrighty, back next week with another one. So see you then.